Good morning, everyone. My name is Dwayne Pinnell with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Belton, Missouri. And it's going to be my pleasure today to show you a 2026 Newmar Mountain Aire. This is a 4118 floor plan. Now, what does the 4118 mean? Well, it's a specific floor plan with as far as the layout in the coach, front to back, where the seating is positioned, the cabinets above and how those are positioned, the kitchen where it is, the dinette where it is, and Newmar has a multiple list of floor plans that they offer in different sizes or lengths of coach. So this being a 4118, it's going to be just over 41 feet, closer to 42 feet in total length. This sits on a Spartan chassis. Now, in the world of RVs and Class A diesel pushers, primarily you have two of the major players in the chassis. There would be Freightliner and there would be Spartan. Now, some of the other manufacturers have their own chassis that they use also. We don't have them here as far as new coaches. We do represent multiple lines here in Kansas City, and the Newmar is a great partner for us and a very high quality build. So with that, the Spartan chassis on this coach is a K3 chassis. This has what's called a tag axle, and we'll see that when we walk around the exterior of the coach. So you have the wheels in the front where your steering column is attached to, and then you'll have drivetrain tires in the back. Those will be dual tires, and that's where your power comes from to propel the coach forward. And just behind that, there is another axle with single tires on the outside of those axles, and it gives you stability in the coach, a very comfortable ride, certainly with a coach this length and higher. So Newmar makes a really high quality coach, and the Mountain Aire is certainly an example of that. It falls within the lower end of what's called a high line of the Newmar coaches that they build. So it's really an introductory coach for that high line series. And they go from the Mountain Aire up would be the Mountain Aire, above it would be the London Aire, then the Essex, and at the very top, the pinnacle of the Newmar line is the King Aire. That is the high-end luxury coach that Newmar offers in their total lineup. Now, Newmar has about 16 different models in coaches because they offer not only the diesel pushers, the Class A gas coaches, but also Super Cs. The Super Cs would be a diesel engine, and they come in 4 different models. They have a Grand Star as an introductory Super C coach, going to the Superstar, then to the Aire, and then to the Summit Aire. Now they also have a Freedom Aire that's on a Mercedes chassis. That this is the first year that they're offering it in 2026, and we haven't had one in our dealership yet, but we do have them on order. So if you have an interest in that, you can contact me about that as well. Back to the Mountain Aire though. So again, we're on the Spartan chassis, and you'll see the layout of the dash here. So you do have a smart steering wheel with a lot of the controls on the steering wheel. And in the dash, this coach will offer a lot of information that it will give you as far as just the drivability of the coach. Now we do have on the side panel here, just to show you, this is a Spartan chassis. You have air leveling and hydraulic leveling of the coach, and you'll see this panel here. And it's an HWH computer leveling system. So you can level the coach with the airbags that are on the coach, and then you can also level it with hydraulic jacks that actually make contact with the ground. You have some cup holders, a lot of the instrumentation panel here. You have the powered mirrors. The upper mirrors, as we see, would be powered. You can move those left to right, up and down, so that you have great visibility of the coach. And then in the lower mirrors, that is where the side cameras appear. So if your blinker is turned on the left, you would get a view down the left side of the coach or the driver's side of the coach, and on the right down the passenger side of the coach. And those are manual. You have to manipulate those manually. This coach has the adaptive cruise, so you can set a distance where you're comfortable following a vehicle. If you have the cruise control set and the adaptive cruise is on, it will actually slow you down if a vehicle pulls in front of you to maintain an appropriate distance, or again, a comfortable distance for you. And you can shorten, lengthen that, again, whatever your comfortability is with that. Now this coach has, as an added feature for safety, it has a system on the outside that will detect what is in the blind spot area, and it gives you an alert that there's something there before you try to make a move from one lane to the other, so that you're not going to run into that vehicle, or the likelihood of you doing so would certainly be much less. So again, that is on this coach. It is an added option. That is not a standard option on the coach, but we have it. And then you have the Mobileye, the collision avoidance system that's all integrated into the system as well. This has the tire pressure monitoring system, and it's the third generation Valor system where that's concerned. And then the steering wheel is manipulated with a pedal that's close to the floorboard, and you push that pedal in. While the pedal is pushed, it will move your steering wheel for you up and down and in and out, and I'll just show you that here. So I'm pushing the pedal on my left side, and you can see how you can set the steering wheel up. If you like to drive with the wheel farther away from you, you can certainly do that. Telescope it toward you, and then manipulate it up and down where it is most comfortable for you, and still being able to see the display in the dash there. Now, as you can see in the panel here, which is your camera system, you can see that we have a lot of different views that are located here. I'm looking at the front view now. This is where our front view is. Left, so this is the blinker view, and we've got the slide-ins out, so that's what you're seeing on the side of the coach. To the right, we see the same view, only to the right, and then you can look at a side view farther out away from the coach on both sides, and then that rear view. Now, because most people, when they're driving a class coach or something behind a Super C, they're likely to tow something. In this event, we can hit this button and it shows a view that's farther away from us in the rear of the coach, one that's closer, and then if you have that tow vehicle, you can see almost right up on the hitch of the coach, and then your tow bars that would connect the tow vehicle. So you can look at other views as well, left and right. And there is your 360-degree view with all of the different locations. And then you can do left, right, and rear. And then a view from up above. You see the 3 ACs depicted in those little boxes there of the coach. So a lot of safety features built into the coach. You have all your lights. You have docking lights. Docking lights would be the lights that are on the exterior side of the coach, so that in the nighttime, if you're trying to park the vehicle, you have illumination on the sides of the coach, so it helps you to see visibly what you're doing even though it's nighttime. And then you have your fan controls here. Now this is a huge windshield, as you'll see, and with that you can get some frost, of course, in the very, very cold months, and you have fans up here that are actually used to diminish that frost from the windshield to give you the clear visibility that you need. But look at this, what a great way to see the country, looking out this great big windshield for both the driver, passenger, and even those people who are traveling in the coach behind you. You have an air brake here, so it's got an air brake system. Now this also has a engine brake or exhaust brake with it as well, where it will use compression of the engine to help slow you down. So in, for instance, the mountains of Colorado, if you're descending, you can have the engine brake on, and you can set it at 3 different levels in this coach, high, medium, and low, and it will help to slow you down without having to ride the brakes of the vehicle. So that's a great safety feature as well, and an additional secure feeling for you as driver of the vehicle. Now this coach has the leather interior, Italian leather. This does have adjustable headrests, so they'll go up and down for you for comfortability. Now, as an added feature on this particular coach, this wider seat for the passenger on this side is a little wider than the normal of the driver's seat. So standard would be the driver's width of the chair here, but on this one, as you see, we have the wider one. Many people in the RV world tend to travel with a pet. Where do those pets end up most likely? In the lap of the person that's in the passenger seat or side by side, so it gives a little bit extra room for that. Now in the stairwell here, we see you have a couple of treads. Under each of those treads is storage. So for the higher stair, you can lift that up and you can store things in there, maybe a dog leash, maybe dog food, things of that nature. And then the lower one, maybe you'd want to put gloves, a wrench or something that you'd need to have handy to get next to. And while I'm here, I'll show you just by looking at this. This is a nighttime shade, so it's black to darken the coach at nighttime, and then the shade just underneath it is a silhouette type blind where it's going to give you a view outside, less likely to be able to see from the outside in, and no possibility of seeing outside in when that darkening shade is down. But all of these are powered through the coach. So you have them all the way throughout the coach where you have a day and nighttime shade, and it just gives you the ability to filter the sun in the daytime, but also the complete darkness in the nighttime when you're getting ready to retire for the evening. Another thing that we have here is this side camera. Now the visual that you see on this camera can be mimicked exactly to what you see in the screen. So the person here with the NavGo navigation system can set the coordinates in this particular screen, and then it will transfer those over to the dash as well, so you can see the same thing. They also can help the driver with another set of eyes, looking around the coach if you're trying to park, because they can also see the cameras while someone's trying to coordinate the driving and the parking the vehicle, just what's going on here. Again, that additional set of eyes can help greatly. We have a wireless phone charger here, so that's a convenience for the passenger. And there's also a wireless phone charger just to the left under that yellow button that we see, which is that engine brake that is essentially the parking brake of the vehicle. Another feature of the coach is that we have this tile flooring, beautiful, huge tile flooring, and it is heated as well. So you have several different zones where you can heat the coach up very, very nicely if you give it time to heat up just by turning on that heated tile floor. So getting out of bed in the morning, standing onto the floor, you don't get that shock of the really cold tile by doing so. You can step out on a warm tile. This coach has also several different upgrades. One of the upgrades on the coach is that this is sable maple, what Newmar calls sable maple. This would be a standard color on the coach that comes free of charge with the coach, with the Mountain Aire. However, we have the Summit, which is the white cabinetry, as an accent, different than the standard, the sable maple, with the sable maple. So you have uppers that are light colored, the lowers that are dark colored, very, very rich. As you'll see to my left, your right, this Bose sound system. So when you turn that on, you have just the total quality of sound through that Bose product, which has been known in the industry for many, many years. There's a televating TV, so that means that you can push a button, the television will then expose itself, where you can watch viewing from, again, these leather seats here across that are the theater style seating. You have cup holders that will illuminate. You have the ability to move those chairs in and out, and it has USBs here as well. And storage comes at a premium in a coach of this nature, so you have plenty of storage here between the seats, remote controls, magazines, books, anything that you'd want. And then you have these beautiful overhead cabinets on the driver's side of the coach. Nice valances. Another thing that Newmar does extraordinarily well is their insulation in the coach. You have padded ceilings here, which dampen any kind of sound. You also have these padded valances throughout the coach with the beautiful sconce lighting here. brings a lot of illumination into the coach. And then carried over also are the cabinets above here on the passenger or kitchen side. This is a sofa that will actually convert to a sleeping surface. So this coach essentially could sleep comfortably 4 people. We have the kitchen here, and this has an extendable countertop. So it expands the counter space that you have for prepping food, preparing a meal. Nice solid surface countertops here. A beautiful microwave, convection oven, and just a little shove or push of the button to release this and put it back in. And as you see here, we have a dishwasher also. So the dishwasher also is an added feature in the coach. It doesn't come standard, otherwise there would be a drawer there. Many people would rather have the drawer space just for additional storage. A lot of people want the convenience as home, as what they have in their home with the dishwasher. And then you've got these beautiful cabinets throughout that have the dovetailing in the drawer construction. So another indicator of how well this coach is made. With full extension drawers. And we have carpeted lined storage shelves here, so it's less likely that while you're traveling something is going to slide around in the coach. And this particular cabinet here for small spice bottles, you might put that there, maybe even a couple of utensils or something like that you have. A thermometer maybe for your cooktop here. Speaking of the cooktop, we have the true induction cooktop. So you have the surfaces here. There are 2 burners. And induction is a very safe way of cooking because after you turn the burners on, they're really not going to burn someone, a child, or anything like that until there's a magnetic connection made between that burner and the bottom of the pan. So you do have to have special pans for your induction cooktops. And again, that's a nice safety feature. On the back side of the covers that go over the induction cooktop, you see there's cutting boards here. So another feature that Newmar incorporates into their build that makes it convenient for the owner of the coach to utilize. And then you have a lot of the same features that you might have in your home with the type of faucets and fixtures that you have throughout the coach. So you're really not forsaking anything that you would have at home, just in a smaller scale in a coach of this nature. We do have storage here with a pull-out shelf. Those would be the manuals for the coach. As you can see, there's a lot of things in the coach, like your televisions, like the microwave, your refrigerator, things that would require manuals or operating instructions on many of those, and you'd find that in that box there. We have some displays throughout the coach that will be convenient for you for running your lights and the shades on the coach, as I already mentioned. And there's one here, one just to the left of the captain's chair there, or the theater seat. And then we have the main control right here for that system, just a simple touch. We do have the hydronic heating on. Now, hydronic heat takes a Chinook dual loop system that's down in, I'll call it the basement area, and we'll walk outside and we'll see that, whereby you can turn that on, use the burner if you're not plugged in, or if you're dry camping, that means you're not plugged into service anywhere, and you're dry camping, you still have the benefit of the heat with this dual loop system, which gives you the heat in the coach, and it also gives you continuous hot water throughout the coach. So once you heat up that water, it will maintain that heat in the water system. You can turn it on at any time and it's going to be hot. Initially, it takes a little while to heat up, and therefore you have an aquamizer, and I'll show you that whenever we get to the master bathroom in the coach. But you see, you've got all your temperature control settings here. We're in the climate screen. We can go to the shades, we can control the shades. Now, This has shades on the exterior windows, on windows such as these on the driver's side, and then window over here on the passenger side. And that makes it nice because you don't have the large awnings that are on the roof of the coach that are on the passenger side, on the driver's side, but you can create shade either by pulling those daytime shades down or extending the awnings that are above these windows, and that can be controlled as well. Then you have your different areas. So it shows you've got the living room, the kitchen, the bedroom, bathroom, and the half bath as far as running your shades. So you can do all that right there. We have the fans that we have in the coach. So this is a fantastic fan. So if you are heating the coach up with your cooking or making dinner and everything like that, you can evacuate some of that heat by turning that on. But if it's the summertime and you've got a nice cool time there, you can open windows such as this one over here. And then you have a screen door in the front, in the entry door, and you can turn that on and draw some of that cool breeze just like you might in an attic fan. Another feature of the coach is, when we're looking at the floors and keeping those clean, is this central vacuum system. So you have a hose that you can drag around on the coach, but also this port where you can just lift that up, take a whisk broom or something and move the contents that you found on the floor, sweep them over here. It's going to take them to a unit down below, and to turn that off, simply put that down. At the dinette, this is an expandable dinette, so pretty comfortable for two people to sit here. But if you need to expand that, maybe you have guests, you want to play cards or something like that, you can extend this out all the way, and then it has a leg because this is extended pretty far, so that if somebody leans on this, it's not going to break the table. But under the bed here, there are two leaves that go there, which creates your tabletop when extending those. Also, you have a couple of folding chairs that are nicely upholstered, just like the chairs here, again, to expand your dining area there. You can have a dinner party while you're in your coach, just as you might at home. Moving on back. So this is the port where that central vac is, where you would plug that in, just there. And then a 19.7 cubic foot Whirlpool refrigerator. Very nice side by side. This has a water filter in it, so if you want to dispense water, you get filtered water. But the other thing about it is the coach also has a filter that is a whole coach filter. So when you get tap water, if you are plugged into service, water, electrical, then you can filter that water as it comes into the coach, filter it again from the refrigerator here. Makes it very nice. So the upper refrigerator, lower freezer, and your ice would drop into this tray here. The little blue dot is because we have the coach winterized. We're in Kansas City, so it is cold here, and it could freeze. We don't want those lines to break or freeze or anything like that because of any kind of moisture content in there. And then a beautiful pantry, just to push with slide out drawers, full extension, and these can be adjusted up and down to fit whatever contents you bring along with you. Nice storage here for pans, baking sheets. And another thing I'll bring to your attention, in the Mountain Aire, we have no carpet in the coach at all. So you see this vinyl strip that covers actually a little gap, because the floor hydraulically will lift up and then come in to place for traveling. And then from the passenger side of the coach, it also brings it in. So it makes you've got a nice little walkway here. One of the other things that Newmar does so well, because they're a great manufacturer, is that I'll point out to you while we're here, the panels here, decorative panels, actually cover up the vents for your air supply. So your air conditioners, of which there are 3 on this coach, there are 15,000 BTU. You don't have the ugly vents that are located out in the coach ceiling anywhere. Everything's covered up nicely here. So even when the slides are in on the coach and you have the air conditioner on, which are also heat pumps, by the way, so anything above 40 degrees, you can turn on this heat pumps. It's going to take the chill off the coach. But for hot climate, and you turn those air conditioners on, You have, again, 15,000 BTU on each of them that's going to supply cold air, and that cool air or the heat pump air comes through these decorative panels, so it doesn't muddle up the ceiling in there, and it looks much nicer. The half bath in the coach, which is the one that would be used going down the road, is here. So you have full access to this bathroom while going down the road by going down the hallway here. And then you can enter into the lovely bathroom here. Again, it's got the same solid surface countertops, the same upper lower white and dark wood summit and then sable maple cabinetry. And then your electric flushing toilets. And this has a SaniCon system on it, or macerator system as some may know it or refer to it. So I'll explain that a little bit more when I show you that unit outside. And then you reach your master bedroom area where you have privacy. A door that slides all the way across and snaps into place. So at nighttime, if somebody retires earlier than somebody who's a night owl and wants to stay up and watch some TV or something, they can do that here. You have a king-size bed with beautiful bed covers and the pillows and just lovely decor. And then the upper, lower cabinets, again, just like we see elsewhere with the colors and everything, same sconces that we saw in the living room area and the kitchen area. And then storage under the bed here. So those leaves that I referred to for the dinette, they're here, and then also the folding chairs. And then you see the illumination down below. So those are courtesy lights in the nighttime. If somebody needs to use the restroom or something without stepping off into the cold, really, really dark area, you can see illumination so you can see what you're doing and move around. You have electrical on both sides of the bed here, as well as a USB port where you can plug your phone in to charge it up overnight as well. And then side windows just here that you can open up as well to get fresh air if the climate is conducive to do so. And then Newmar has a little port that they've entered here. So from above you could put a CPAP there if in fact someone uses it. And the hose and the mask can come down through this port, so you don't have to keep it on the side tables either side, and it makes it very convenient and nice and tidy. Large TV here with hanging closets on either side, drawer space below, and egress in the event, heaven forbid, of a fire, where you could exit the coach through this window if you needed to. And then still light controllers here. There's one under the cabinets there above the headboard. And again, all these floors are heated. You see the nice columns that are lighted. And you can turn those on just as accent light when everything else is turned off. One step up into the master bathroom. Again, another privacy door that comes completely across. And for a essentially 42-foot coach, great bathroom here. Again, you've got heated floors here as well. I'm standing on the engine compartment. So above the engine, if a mechanic would need to get to the engine on the top of it, they would be able to access it through this panel that I'm standing on. Now, as far as another safety feature, we have an egress door here, an exit door. Also could be used to load the coach. Someone hands things in from the outside into the bathroom area, so you're not walking all the way through the coach, in and out all the time. Very easy. But if this door is needed, you can open the door. This bottom panel will come off, exposing a telescoping ladder that will go down into the ground. So it makes it easy and a quick way to get out if one would need to do so. Another electric flushing toilet that we see here. Great cabinet storage space. Another fantastic fan, so if you want to take the humidity or the steam out of this bathroom, you can do that through this as well. We do have a two-piece stacked washer, dryer, the dryer above, the washer below. Splendid. And then you also have mirrors. Of course, in the vanity area where you've got a huge medicine cabinet with electrical inside, you could plug in your curling iron, your shaver, whatever needs to be plugged in for the bathroom space. Solid surface countertop. Look at the beautiful tile. Nice cabinetry and lighted whenever you open the cabinet. And then a nice hanging storage space with a safe. So for all those valuables that you might carry along, space to store that as well in a place that is also safe. And then another nice cabinet also for washcloths, maybe towels, other bathroom items that you would need, so that you still have the conveniences of home. Now, I referred to earlier, and I'll point to the ceiling first. Padded ceiling here. You do have some vents here where you're supplying your air from above, but nice glass shower door. This has the folding bench seat. It's got teak wood, so if the ladies want to sit there and shave their legs, they've got a little place to put their foot while doing so. But this has the aquamizer system that I referred to earlier. So what the aquamizer system is before the water gets heated up initially, it will run that water, recycle that water through the lines until it's hot, and then it will allow you to know that that water is hot and can be dispensed from the shower head, so you're not wasting any water just going down the drain while it's getting hot. You can recycle that water through the system and then dispense it whenever it in fact does get hot. We have the cathedral ceiling here, so for people who are certainly taller than me, makes it not feel so claustrophobic. I'm 6'1", so I've still got plenty of space there between myself and the ceiling. And then you've got the handle, grab bar handle and everything to make it easier to get up, dispensing for your shower gels, your shampoo, conditioner, things that people other than myself need. So anyway, that is pretty thorough walkthrough of the inside of this coach. And what we're going to do next is we're going to step outside and we're going to show you all around the outside of the coach. So we'll be right back. Okay everyone, it's Dwayne back again with the 2026 Newmar Mountain Aire, the 4118. And just for reference, this coach is 17N 253 321 if you're interested in the coach, and you can call me about more details. I have the original build sheet, the MSRP, so I can show you literally every feature on the coach, both inside and outside. And speaking of the outside, a lot of times we here at the Belton Transwest, we will order exterior colors different than those colors that Newmar offers within their model year, just to bring variety to the coach and to make it more specialized for the owner. So they're not driving down the road and they see the same coach, same colored, everything like that. It just makes it a little different. So the thing that Newmar will allow us to do is they will allow us to change the exterior colors, which is an upcharge, but they will also not allow us to change the pattern. So where you see the graphics as they are painted on the coach, we can't change any of that pattern at all. We can change the colors, however, on that pattern. One of the things about the Mountain Aire and the Highline series of the coaches is they have what I call the bullnose here. So it hides these windshield wipers, the windshield wiper blades, so you don't see them there like you see on some of the lower end coaches, lower model coaches, and even some of the higher line coaches for different suppliers. They have the wiper blades exposed there, but you have the mobilized system and that collision mitigation system. Now this also has the Onyx package on it, which is actually an upgrade as well. So you see the black lettering of the Mountain Aire there, the black mirrors, and then you're going to see black wheels as we go around the coach. That's what Newmar refers to as the Onyx package on the coach, again an upgrade. and then you'll see maybe the inside of the shades here. So you have the daytime shade, the nighttime shade. Nighttime, of course, only when you are parked, and if you are driving, the system will only allow that shade to come down so far. It can block the sun for you, the nighttime shade, but it's only going to deploy a certain level downward so that you can still see visibly while you're driving down the road. Going to walk around the coach here. You have LED lighting in the front, and this is again that upgrade. So you have the collision mitigation system, the blind spot detection here. There's a radar system, of course your entry steps, the entry door. You have a keypad here that would allow you to access the coach without a key, and also you can access the storage bays without a key as well. You can completely lock down the coach by pushing a button, holding it in place, that top button there where it has the lock logo or insignia there, and then you have a doorbell here. So if somebody arrives at the coach and they can ring the doorbell at nighttime, this beautiful handrail or bar is illuminated. So you've got that swirl there, makes it just nice and elegant. A awning above the door which has LED lighting, and then this has the Girard package of the awnings. So those two large pieces at the very top there, those deploy out and angle down, so it gives you coverage over the patio when the sun is shining. And here, these are the power awnings that will come out and shade just that specific window. You see one there, and then you'll have some on the other side as well. As we go around the storage here, nice storage shelf above an extending refrigerator freezer. So you can do all refrigerant temperatures there, all freezer temperatures there, or half and half in that, and it has a manual pull to extend this out. If you're tailgaters and you want to keep beverages there for your guests to access without having to go in and out of the coach, very, very nice for that. Also, just to supplement the space inside. Huge storage area in Bay 2, and it is powered, so from either side we can extend that and retract it, so you can put all the things that you want to carry along there. Storage bay number 3, we have, first of all, extra floor tiles in the event that you would drop a pan or skillet or something like that on the tiles inside. There are extra tiles. Here's the clean out for that central vac system. A lot of the electronics that we see. These are the tools for the central vacuum. And then you've got electrical outlet here. Maybe you have a cooktop that's electric. You want to hook in electric, your induction cooktop that you can actually remove from the inside and bring it out to use. You can do that here, setting up a table. A lot of the brains of the coach right here with your electronics and your controllers for your Oasis system, slides, your awnings, etc. I mentioned earlier the dock lights in the coach. This would be a dock light, again, to illuminate in the nighttime. And there's one in front as well. Here is that drivetrain axle with the two wheels on each, tires on either side. So you've got 4 on this area, 2 on the back, and then 2, of course, in the front. And it's a steerable tag axle. So this particular axle, the tires will turn when you turn the wheels in the front, so that it gives you a tighter turning radius for this coach. Makes it much easier to maneuver around in a tighter space. This is the DEF tank, so diesel exhaust fluid. So this is what you use, and usually every 3rd or 4th complete fill of your tank, you would fill up the DEF tank also. It helps from an emissions perspective to keep the soot and everything controlled with that diesel fuel, so that it cleans it all up. This is the exterior side of that egress door that's in the master bath. So this door swings open again, has a telescoping ladder to get in and out, more out than in as far as the intent of it. And then these are the chassis batteries just here. with a chassis disconnect. And then you've got an air dryer, and you've got filters throughout the coach for the engine system controls and everything. And again, another one of those radar controls. So again, if there's something in the blind spot or the side of you, it will detect that. The engine compartment here, of course, this has a 525 horsepower Cummins engine. And again, it's a K3 Spartan chassis. That rear camera, just there, the one that I showed you from the inside, you have a tow hitch here already set up. It has an airline already set up for your tow vehicle. And then you've got the nice rock guard there to keep rocks from coming up on your tow vehicle or throwing rocks from the back of this. Side radiator on the coach, which is very, very nice on the vehicle. And heaven forbid you would have to have engine repair. Makes it a little bit easier in that you don't have to remove that radiator, which is normally on the back if it doesn't have the side radiator, to access the engine in order to repair it. But see the beautiful paint scheme that we did on the coach. And again, this is a custom exterior color with the onyx. Here is another port for the DEF fluid, so you can fill it from here as well as fill it into the tank directly on the other side. So at the pump, at a Love's, Flying J's, Pilots, all of those facilities where you would get fuel, diesel fuel, you could fill up the DEF also many times from the pump. And then this is just a simple storage area for the waste hose. If you want to carry a gravity waste hose, you could put it in there and keep it nice and tidy. Docking lights. You have your Clean Master there. And then, so your filter for the water and everything. You have a power hose reel for your water. So you pull this out manually and you can retract it under power. This is the SantaCon system, so otherwise known as a macerator. You can hook it to the sewage system, and it also has a motor, so you can turn that on. It's going to grind up the contents of your black tank and then dispense it down there, which makes it a little cleaner certainly. And then you can also turn on your generator from exterior here. You have your tanks that you can see, and the time. You've got a towel bar there for paper towels. Exterior shower, maybe the dog gets its feet muddy or wet, and you can wash off the feet before you take the puppy into the coach. And then you've got your water flushes and everything for your tanks right there. So nice, tidy. This is the exhaust for the Chinook dual loop hydronic system that I mentioned inside, that gives you the continuous hot water and also the heat in the coach. This door, as you'll see, is on a slipper hinge, so it drops down. Remember that this slide comes out and seats into place. Well, this gives you the full benefit of the height of the basement area without forsaking anything, just to miss the slide when it's down. So it slides up as it approaches the coach and clears the slide even when they're out. 50 amp, 50-foot shore cord, so plenty of length. It has a whole coach surge protector on the coach, which will create the ability to keep from overpowering the coach, or a surge of power in the coach, to protect all the electronics, everything in the system that is there. We do, however, still recommend that you get a surge protector for the pull as well, because that just gives you double safety and protection. Here's the Oasis Chinook system, the hydronic heat. And again, that has that dual loop system that's going to heat up your water with diesel fuel if you're not plugged into electrical. And if you're plugged into electrical, the system has an electric side also. And then this is the same storage tray that we saw from the opposite side, that again is still powered, so in and out. And this coach has 640 amp hours of lithium batteries, so it's going to give you plenty of power. It is expandable, so you could put another pack of lithium on there, another 320 amp hours, and then it's got two 3,000 Inverters, pure sine wave inverters. Typically only has one standard on the coach, but with the lithium package that's been added for about $19,000 plus, you get the lithium batteries as well as an additional inverter on the coach. And one of those inverters will run one of the air conditioners while going down the road, so you don't have to have your generator on going down the road to run just one of those with the lithium package. There was one of these on the opposite side. This is your fuel fill. And again, you can fuel from both sides. Typically, you'd pay the pump at this side, but at, again, those places, Love's, Pilot, Flying J's, you can go to the satellite pump on the opposite side and fill the tank twice as fast on the coach. And then this is the exhaust for the generator. This has a 10,500 kW Onan generator that will run off of your diesel fuel, etc. And then again, more of the fuses of the coach. This does have hydraulics to run out the front of the coach to expose that generator. So you push a button and it will extend this whole front cap to expose that generator. Power locks. Just again, Newmar gives extra fuses here as well in case something there would blow. So the 2026 Newmar Mountain Aire 4118. Again, I'm Dwayne Pennell. My phone number is 816-516-5312. You can find me on D's Luxury RVs or Dwayne's Luxury RVs. And then my email is dwayne.pinnell@transwest.com. Thank you so much for the time you spent with me today, and I'd love to hear from you. If there's something I can do for you in your coach search, it'd be my pleasure to do it. Have a great day.